When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country. For he said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea.
If the Israelites traveled from Goshen to the Aqaba coast, then the biblical description of their route to freedom is very specific. They walked a road through the Sinai desert in the direction of the Red Sea. During the time of the Exodus, 3 main roads existed in the Sinai. The way of the Philistines traced the Mediterranean coast past a series of Egyptian military outposts. Understandably, the Israelites did not follow this path. The way of Shur, an inland trail, terminated not on the shores of Yam Suf, but in the vast desert of southern Canaan. Only the southernmost road, a trade route that stretched from Egypt to the top of the Red Sea and then on to Midian, matched the biblical description.
It's a route that runs through more or less central Sinai, from the Egyptian cities which are in the Nile Delta, and then on down to northwestern Arabia. This is a period when the incense route was beginning to develop. So we do have evidence of travel back and forth between Egypt and what we would call Midian.
Located above the peninsula's rugged mountain ranges, this trade route was well suited for travel, as its flat, hard-packed terrain made long journeys on foot manageable and commonplace. When Moses fled from Pharaoh after killing an Egyptian slave master, he would have followed this route to sanctuary in ancient Midian. Then, 40 years later, he led his people out of Egypt over this same desert road again.
And the Lord was going before them in a pillar of cloud by day to lead them, and in a pillar of fire by night to give them light, that they might travel by day and night.
The Swedish Bible says clearly that they were traveling both day and night, and at night they had this pillar of fire leading them and enlightening them, and at day it was this cloud that I guess also overshadowed them because of the heat of the day, so they could travel both day and night.
By walking through the desert during the cooler hours of the early morning and night, the Israelites could have crossed the Sinai in approximately 3 weeks, the time allowed by the biblical record. The scriptures imply they had a significant head start on the Egyptian army, for many days passed before Pharaoh decided to bring Israel back into captivity. Then, while his army prepared to give chase, he received a surprising report of Moses' path through the wilderness.
Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell the sons of Israel to turn back and camp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea. For Pharaoh will say, They are wandering aimlessly in the land. The wilderness has shut them in.
And it says in the scripture that they turned. And that could be interpreted in different ways, but our understanding is that they turned southwards, and Pharaoh then was so certain about that they were trapped within the peninsula.
This satellite photograph defines the Israelites' unexpected change of course. They had entered a winding maze of dry riverbeds that branched off the southern trade road in a twisting path to the coast. And within this canyon, called Wadi Watir, Moses and his people were hemmed in between walls of rock 2,000 feet high.
Once you're into this wadi, you can't turn either left or right. You have to go, just follow it all the way.
you have huge mountains on each side, so you can't get anywhere else except follow this valley.
You can see the mountains are high and they're coming closer and closer, and the road is going, how do you say, back and forth between those mountains.
After walking 18 miles through the wadi, the Israelites caught their first glimpse of the mouth of the canyon and an even greater obstacle that now stood before them.